Welcome, everyone. I'm John, and Finn's eating yogurt next door.
Hello.
So, all righty. So, thanks a lot. We appreciate y'all coming in here and showing up. We want to thank Zach and Jason and everybody for what they're doing here. This is really awesome. Can't believe that we get to be part of this super awesome group of speakers and all the cool stuff that's going on. We've got to see Steve with tumbleweeds earlier, and
I'm coming.
We got to see Clint, and
Yes.
we were just watching Wheelhouse, their tour, so that was pretty cool. So yeah,
Wonderful.
awesome. Thank you all very much.
Beautiful.
So yeah, great. You know what? I think we should turn this.
Turn to where?
I'm gonna turn it like that. He's not
Why don't you
upside
just-
down for me.
I just
Visual is blurry and delayed. Hey, Terry. Okay, so we live off grid out in the middle of the woods of Georgia. And so our internet is nothing out here. We're completely out in the middle of nowhere. And the only internet we have out here in the middle of the woods is AT&T's 1990 technology known as DSL. So if it's a little slow, or if it's a little choppy, or if it's a little delayed, we apologize for anybody who's getting funky signals.
Internet sucks.
So yeah, internet's kind of audio is good anyway. Okay, Eric, thank you.
It's good. So you don't
Audio
need to
is
see
fine.
us.
Good deal.
So I can eat.
Thank you. Vicky, your screen is sideways. Is it better now? Did we fix it, Vicky?
Are we still sideways?
Are we still sideways?
Oh, I
No.
think we scared Vicky.
No? Okay. So
Oh.
we're trying to see.
How's that go?
I don't know what happened to the. There he goes. Still sideways. All right.
Are you
Let's
sure we're
see.
still sideways? You want to do the other way?
It's on the app, but on the Mac it is good. Okay. You all look good. Hey, so we turned our iPad sideways, so maybe that fixed it.
Can I eat?
Yeah, so anyway, so stop eating. Okay, so anyway, real quick, for the massive number of folks who don't know who we are, we're John and Finn Kernohan. We are the founders of the United Tiny House Association. Back in 2015, we started the Georgia Tiny House Association. And then we went international. We renamed ourselves United Tiny House Association. We've got close to 37,000. We have over 36,000 members worldwide. And I think we're more known for our tiny house festivals. We've done 15 of what we call the 4 charity tiny house festivals in the past 4 years. And these are charitable events where we organize them for, we've given away over $650,000 from the proceeds of our events to 80 some different charities and nonprofits and causes. We built home for a homeless veteran. We've purchased through Augusta Warrior Project the a fifth wheel for a homeless veteran. And Lenny says we're upside down. And Meg, love your firehouse. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
And Pamela, video is really pixelated. Move slowly.
Okay.
So anyway, that's who we are.
Are we
All
still
right.
upside down?
Are we still upside down? I'm so sorry. So sorry if we're upside down.
We're not sideways now, but we're upside
We're
down.
not sideways
Okay, you know
now.
what?
We're
I think
upside
somebody
down.
said what to do about off grid.
So the
No.
you are not upside down.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, good. We are not upside down. Good. So the reason for our talk is the future of the tiny house movement and how it's all up to us as individuals. And I'm going to use it with some stories. So when we first started our tiny journey, Finn and I started living tiny over 10 years ago aboard what's known as a narrow boat or a canal boat over in the United Kingdom. And then we settled here in the United States. When we got married, we decided to live here in the UK, not in the UK. We decided to move back and live here in the United States. and we built our little cabin out here in the woods. And I remember the very first time I posted something on a Facebook page or on a Facebook group. And I told them what we were doing, how we were building our tiny cabin in the woods. And I got slammed, man. I mean, people just trashed me like, you're going to die. You're going to get black mold. All these terrible things are going to happen. And I became a wallflower. I shut down for 6 months on Facebook. I didn't share anything. And I learned a valuable lesson from that, that in Finn's and my tiny journey, I needed to solely 100% rely on what was best for Finn and I, and to listen to what Finn and I solely believed in and what we felt was best for us. And we needed to do it in a way that was caring and supportive of other people. And that's how we started the 4 charity tiny house festivals. Because when we did our very first tiny house festival back in March 2016, we decided to do it by giving away 100% of the proceeds, gross proceeds, all of it. And that's how we started doing the tiny house festivals for charity. And
speak a little slow.
Speak
due to
a little slowly.
Woo,
Okay,
Lindsay.
Lindsay, hi. Christina, the video is upside down. I don't know what to say, Christina, because some people say it's upside down and some people say it's not upside down. So I don't know what to do on that. Maybe we can
do sideways.
So over the past years,
slow.
The 10 years that we've been living tiny, we've seen and witnessed a lot of things. And the one thing that we've seen that we firmly believe in is that it's our support of each other that's going to make the tiny house movement succeed. In our opinion, it's not financing, it's not zoning, it's not quality building, it's not it's not standards for building. It's us as individuals. And one person doing one thing can be the catalyst of this movement. And I'm going to give you an example. In January 2008, I was sitting in a meeting of leaders of the tiny house community. And one person said in that meeting regarding Finn and I building individual homes for individual homeless veterans. That's something we do through our organization.
I want to tap my face.
And their comment was, this individual's comment was, building and I'm paraphrasing it right now, the building of individual homes for individual homeless veterans is not a solution to the problem. That was that person's truth. Now I'm going to give you another story. There is somebody in the tiny house movement who at one time was homeless, not by her choice, was homeless, living in her car. And a complete stranger gave her $500 to help her get out of her car and to get a roof over her head. And she was able to take that opportunity. She is now a very successful tiny house builder. And she is building an entire huge community of tiny homes for homeless folks out in Arizona. And you all might know her as Elizabeth Singleton. So my question is, where was the future of the tiny house movement? Was it in that one individual who's a leader of the tiny house community saying building of individual homes for homeless veterans is not a solution to the problem? Or was it that complete stranger who had nothing to do at all with the tiny house movement reaching out and helping Elizabeth Singleton out of the kindness of his or her? I'm not sure. I've listened to Elizabeth's testimony a few times, and I don't recall if it was a him or a her. But that person helping Elizabeth, and now look at the massive things that she's doing for the tiny house community and for the tiny house movement. I say that one individual helping that other individual, Elizabeth, was the future of the tiny house community. Every single time that we're online www.facebook.com/every single tiny house group, support group that's out there. You always see it out there. Somebody will say, hey, do you like Separate or do you like Nature's Head? And then you have all these people giving their opinions and stuff. And there's always that one rogue individual that's so negative. And it's always possible that that one rogue individual who's so negative could cause such a negative impact on that person who posts that query that he or she will start off their tiny journey with all sorts of hurdles and stepping stones. So we as individuals, one-on-one, we could be the catalyst to taking this tiny house movement way off into the stratosphere by getting out of ourselves when we make comments and when we share and when we reach out to people and in helping others in their success. Finn and I firmly believe that over the years, by us helping people succeed in their endeavors, that we've been able to get to where we're at now in our tiny house movement. And I know that sounds so simple. And I know that we hear this karma and do unto others and all, we've heard all this our whole lives, but it's so true. And especially now in the atmosphere and in the world we live in with all this craziness, we see all this greatness and all this good that's coming out and that people are doing for their fellow man and for their fellow women and for their neighbors and for people around the world. We're seeing this. We're seeing it. But why do we have to wait until a catastrophic situation? Why do we need a pandemic? Why do we need a hurricane? Why do we need a California fire? Why do we need, unfortunately, a mass shooting? Why can't we just do it when somebody asks, hey, shingles or metal roof for my tiny house? Why can't that be the moment we see that pure, helpful, heartfelt reaching out in support of individuals? That would be awesome. That would be the moment when we could see that all the time in the tiny house movement, where everybody is just nurturing everybody and everybody's reaching out. And I know I sound like a cheerleader right now, but Finn and I, we've done 15 tiny house festivals. We have interacted with hundreds of builders. We have interacted with hundreds of thousands of people. Finn and I have traveled the world for the tiny house movement. We have interacted with government officials. I spoke in Washington, D.C. I was part of something that Elizabeth Singleton organized up at HUD, the Department of Housing and Urban Development, in June 2018 in Washington, D.C. We get invited to municipalities and government municipalities where we get to talk to them about implementing their tiny house programs. And we get to see all this really cool stuff. And along the way, we have seen beautiful people doing beautiful things. We've also seen some ugly comments being made about people and to people and about other people's efforts. When even if we don't agree with something, we could say it in a way where it doesn't have to glorify ourselves at the expense of somebody else. So I would say to you and everybody, don't worry about zoning and financing and building standards and ANSI codes and where to park your house as much as how we can support each other. Because if we support each other, all those other things, we're going to collaborate and cooperate to make it all happen. Simple, short, and sweet. That's our word. I can't see the questions. They keep disappearing. Frank Ballard, I need a cheerleader, that's for sure. Frank, he's our man. If nobody can do it, Frank can. How's that? Justin, love you guys and everything you're doing. I've been to several of your festivals. So great. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Thank you, Justin. Dave, dreaming big. Let me see. Nan Smith. Nan, we got a great story about somebody named Nan. Anyway, sometimes we need something that takes us out of our comfort zone, or maybe not. Just wanting to help ourselves and others is truly human natures. Haters hate, so sad. I would love if somebody could tell me how I could keep. I would love a tiny in New York. Love this. Just be kind. Lori Moon, you're right. Just be kind. Jen Cook. I'm in the fight with you. Allie Sprung, brilliant. Okay, you know what? I've been called lots of words and a lot of adjectives been used on me, Allie. I don't know if brilliant's one of them, but I'll take that. So anyway, let's see. Do you work with homeless students? Jan Zapata. Jan, we work with lots of organizations. If you go out to our website, unitedtinyhouse.com, and go to the frequently asked questions page, you can see the list of the over 80 different charities, nonprofits, and causes that we financially support and who we have donated over $650,000 to from our 15 tiny house festivals. We also employ over 50 people through our organization throughout the year at our tiny house festivals. These are salary jobs. That's something else that we do through the United Tiny, not salary jobs, they're paying jobs. We pay people through our events. So we do a lot to help people. In fact, when we go into a town, Finn does this. It's really amazing. When we go into a town to do our events, Finn will identify and hire some of the homeless folks that are nearby where we hold our events, and they become part of our tiny team. Our tiny house festivals are, it's a great reason to have a big party. Somebody called us once the Woodstock of tiny house festivals. I kind of like that. I accept that mantle. But it's all about doing and giving within the community. So I hope that answers that question there. Brandy Long, love your positiveness. I don't have a choice but to be positive, Brandy, or my wife hits me. It's the truth. Everybody knows. Are the house recipients only in Georgia? Megan, I'm assuming you're asking about the houses that we build for homeless veterans. It's on a unique basis how it happens. Something that we've been doing mostly for a year now is that we've been collaborating with homeless organizations and affordable housing organizations and giving the money directly to them through partnering with our tiny house festivals, because they are able to identify the need in their area and they're able to invest the money directly into the homeless housing needs where they're at. We've been doing that. Believe it or not, building a house for a homeless veteran is a political party that is not fun to attend. It takes a lot of work, a lot of effort, and if something goes wrong, if there's a hinge that gets loose, it's a lot. It's a lot of it's a lot of follow up and support. So we find that partnering with the homeless nonprofits in the area and financially supporting them, that we find that the money is able to be used really for a lot of good for folks who really know what's needed in that area. I hope that answers that question. And sorry if I missed this. What are your plans for events at this time? When do you think live festivals will happen again? Kelly. Okay, so we have one event, our annual Florida event. We have one event that's carved in stone the weekend before Thanksgiving in November in Orlando. It's our 5th annual Florida Tiny House Festival. That one's still on. Our 5th annual Georgia Tiny House Festival, which was scheduled for back the first weekend in April, we rescheduled that for May 16, 17. But we rescheduled that when everything was just getting started. We will be announcing this weekend the new dates for our 5th annual Georgia Tiny House Festival, which is still going to be held this year. And but we'll be putting out the dates and everything. Our website, unitedtinyhouse.com, and our Facebook page. You can go out there and you'll see the dates and everything this weekend for the new dates for the 5th annual Georgia Tiny House Festival. And so this year, 2020, we'll only be doing our 2 annual events, our 5th annual Georgia Tiny House Festival and our 5th annual Florida Tiny House Festival. And obviously, there'll be a different design with social distancing and sanitation and health factors and stuff. So keep an eye out this weekend, and we'll do that. Dana, hey, I'm from Florida. Dana, so am I. When I met Finn, she was living in London, and I was living in Miami. Let me see. Let me see here. what we got here? Where are you located? Nancy Mock. And it looks like your title is Cabin in the Woods. Nancy, we're located in Georgia. We have 16 acres. It's called the Beloved Cabin Homestead. We have 16 acres here in Georgia. We're a tiny house community. We're fully booked right now. We're expanding. We've got a couple of schoolie residents out here. We have 2 tiny houses. We got another schoolie that we're doing right now building, and we're building a tree house in the back of the property. Those are all for residents and for rentals. But right now we're fully booked. A lot of people want to get out and go isolate out here in the woods. But we're located in Georgia, about an hour and a half outside of Atlanta. Let me see. When are you coming to South Florida, Kelly? Kelly, we aren't planning anything in South Florida. We do one event a year in Florida, and the first 3 years we did it up there in St. Augustine, just outside of St. Augustine in Elkton, Florida. Last year we did it in Orlando, and this year we're doing it again in Orlando.
You know, never say never.
But I'm not saying we'll never do it in Florida, because
we don't know yet.
Finn has been hammering about doing it in South Florida. She's really been interested in doing something in Miami.
Yes.
So just to let you know, that may be happening sooner than later, just because she's really been wanting to do it something in Miami. Let me see here. Does your community include people of all religions? Alex, do you mean our tiny house community? Yes, we're Finn and I are the prime example of the tiny house community, Alex. Finn is from Thailand. She was raised Buddhist. Here in the United States, my family is Amish. My grandaddy was the head elder of our Amish community. My dad was an Amish minister. When I left and went out on my own, I became a born-again charismatic Christian. I was a minister for 12 years, and then I realized I developed a different opinion. My wife is a vegetarian. I'm a member of the Red Meat Eaters Book of the Month Club. My wife is a bodybuilder, a personal trainer. She only drinks water. I sit around and break a sweat watching my wife work out. So, yes, Alex, we're into everything and anybody. Our tiny house festivals reflect that. Everybody from all walks of life, all denominations, religions, ethnicities. I mean, look at my wife and I. We're a mixed racial couple. You name it, it's out here. The folks that are out here right now, one family, I'm going to say they're kind of like, I would assume they're not of any faith. And the other one is a very earthy kind of Mother Earth kind of worshiping kind of group of folks, if you will. I don't know how to explain them.
Is that actual religious?
Well, it's faith. I mean, you know, it doesn't have to be religious.
You want to go and get them here and ask them?
Yeah, you know. But we've had Hasidic folks, we've had Muslim folks, we've had born again Christian folks, we've had atheist folks, we've had. So I hope that answers your question. I'm not sure. We don't really think about race and religion, gender, or lifestyle. You know, just everybody's welcome. Let me see. Jenny, LMAO. Dear Lord, you should write a book on how to marry your opposite and thrive. Hey, Jenny, if you go out to Facebook, look for Tiny Talks, Communicating with Love and Laughter. My wife and I talk all about how opposite we are out there. It's kind of funny. So anyway, if you get a kick out of that, let me see here. Okay, we're down to about 6 minutes. Wiccan. Somebody said Wiccan. Yeah. You know, we've had people out here who, for our burning festivals, who've taught us a lot of interesting things. So,
what's your best advice to one beginning that tiny house journey?
Okay, so Sparky Parks, what is your best advice?
Go for it!
That's
Do it now!
Go for it. Have a plan. Sparky Parks.
But be flexible.
Have a plan, but be ready to deviate from that plan. Finn has a philosophy. Go for it, make a plan, and go for it. Just go for it, and if it's a total cluster mess, you can always change your plan. We make plans and we do things, and we're constantly changing those plans and deviating from our plans. The one thing I would say is if you're going to build a house, whether you're going to build it with a builder, and I'm talking about a tiny house on wheels, a mobile, schoolie, gypsy wagon, Vardo, whatever. If it's something that you're going to move around, I strongly do say know where you're going to put it. Don't be one of these folks who go and build something, then spend the next 2 years moving it from location to location to location because you didn't have a plan where to put it. Have a solid plan on where you're going to put it. But the biggest thing you can do to do your tiny journey is go for it. Just go for it. And don't listen to the murderers and assassinations of your dreams. I can't stress this enough. Your mother, your brother, your sister, your spouse, your partner, your dog groomer, your hairdresser, your lawn person, the person at the grocery store, your mail delivery person, one of those people are going to tell you going tiny is stupid, it's wrong, how they can't do it. They're going to just blow all these toxins. They're going to get thumb cancer by typing these really mean messages to you. Don't listen to them. You need to listen to yourself, follow your heart, and as long as you're not going to do something crazy and stupid that's going to cause you, your loved ones, and the people around you damage, don't listen to the people who are going to assassinate and murder your dreams. Go for it. My mom is Wiccan and my dad is, where did that go? I wanted to read that one. That one looked great. My mom is Wiccan and my dad is, oh, I lost it. Where'd it go?
Oh, the website. Somebody asked about the website.
What is the website address to your association? Notice how it's in backwards. www.unitedtinyhouse.com. Unitedtinyhouse.com. You two are hilarious. Give us the story behind the TP video. Oh, that's Lindsay. Yeah, so on our YouTube channel, there's a video of a bunch of people we know around the world in the tiny house community. Japan, Belgium, Thailand, New Zealand, here in the U.S., and we got everybody to do a little video of catching and throwing a video, and Finn spliced them all together and put them to music, and it was just a message of sharing and helping each other out during these trying times. But you can catch that on our YouTube channel. We're on YouTube and Instagram and Twitter and Facebook at United Tiny House. We're getting down to the wire here. We're about 2 minutes out.
I think somebody asked how long have you been off grid?
How long have we been off grid? Let me see. Mary Ann, opposite is just fine. You two are adorable. Seem to respect each other's differences, and that's a blessing. Mary Ann, I don't have a choice. My wife beats me up all the time. Tiny wife rules my life. She's just vicious. Knows how to use a butterfly knife. What places in Georgia allows tiny homes? Jenny B. Jenna B. Jenna, Georgia is wonderful. There's so many counties throughout Georgia that have zero minimum square footage requirements in their zoning codes. Georgia is an awesome place for tiny houses. Also, big municipalities, Atlanta, Decatur, they have adopted in the recent years coding for foundation-based tinies, 400 square foot and less. The state has adopted the Appendix Q for foundation-based tinies. So Georgia's a happening place.
Quick, time's up.
30 seconds left. Visit us online, UnitedTinyHouse.com, and on Facebook. We have talks on Sunday online at 2 p.m. Bye. So, bye. Thank you, everybody.
We got 15
seconds. Thank you. We appreciate everything. You guys. Zach. Thanks a lot, Zach. We appreciate you guys letting us be on here. You guys take care. You guys are wonderful. Thank you all very much.
Don't forget to wash your hands.
Wash your hands. Wash your hands. Wash your hands.
Wash your hands. Bye.